the last of it, though. I've dealt with so much, and I've worked through so much with God's help, with psychiatry, with everything. I've let go and forgiven so much. I really have.
Yeah.
There are many things that do not affect me that
Right.
other people are like, wow. But it's like, yeah, I know it's not a benefit to my life.
Yeah.
And I'm not a benefit to anyone else being that way.
Right.
So these are the last, and I know these are the last two rooted issues that are just not ready to come out yet.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to go through so much, you know?
Yeah.
I'm tired of being there.
I would be exhausted.
Yeah, so I don't really let myself go there. I just don't.
I know. Well, maybe that's all we have to go there, but probably not.
No,
I
definitely.
What year did you get married?
1991, January 8th on Elvis Presley's birthday. I love Elvis.
You love Elvis? Did you plan that?
Mm-mm.
You didn't.
But I did find out later on, my meme, who I adore, my grandmother, she was a praying woman. She was a Christian, and she really was one of the only people in my younger years of life that really loved me unconditionally. Mm-hmm. I have such great memories of her. Anyhow, she got married on January 8th. I didn't even know that.
Oh, really? You didn't know it?
I didn't know. I had no idea. And then when I found out, I just felt like so special.
So this was the marriage to your first husband, right? And how long were you guys married?
13 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
13 years. So 91.
Yeah.
So you were 18? You were
19? I was 19 when we got married.
Yeah. 19 years old. Were you just like, I'm out of here?
Out of where?
Because you lived with those people.
I left there when I was 18. I moved to Virginia on my own. My soon-to-be husband didn't even know that I did that. I just showed up. I can't imagine what was going through his head. Like, what is this crazy stalker doing here? Like,
no, he didn't.
I think he did. I think that he didn't have the guts to tell me, but when I look back on it, he was really afraid when I showed up and I went to his ship and went on the ship and was like, hi, I live here now.
I love it.
He was like, and I was like, and then I said it right away. I was like, don't worry, you're not going to have to support me. I got a job the first day I landed. And
what did you do?
I was a waitress.
Oh,
I did waitressing most of my life. I loved waitressing.
I remember you saying that. You've said that before.
I really enjoyed it, and I was really good at it, and people just liked me.
Yeah.
You know, so they would ask for me when they came in. I did really well. I always made exactly what I needed and a little bit more to do laundry. You know, I would make like $100 a day, which is a lot back then.
Yeah.
And so I said, I calmed him with that. Like, you don't have to worry. I got myself a job. I got a place, whatever. So that was good. And then.
You want to say his name, or do you want to leave his name out?
I don't need to say his name. It's okay. He knows who he is.
I know.
So.
We should give him a pseudonym so that we talk about him. Like
he hates me. He refuses to speak to me. He hates me. It's so sad, but he hates me.
But don't you think he would be a little bit proud of where you are today?
I think he probably is. I mean, I spoke to him a couple of years ago, and we had a huge argument. So there went that.
Yeah, but your argument was
about the kids.
Yeah.
The kids. Because he kept them from me. We'll get to that at some point. But so anyway, back then, he was going away a lot on the ship. So I would see him like on the weekends or once a month, whatever. And then once he finally got back from being out to sea for 6 months, we got an apartment, and then we moved in together. And then, like, I don't know, I guess it must have been in January. He said, we were driving. I'll never forget it. And he was like, you know, I'll get like $200 extra a month if we get married, in his pay. And he wasn't getting paid anything. I was making more money than him, truthfully. And he was getting paid $250 every 2 weeks. That's what he got paid in the military. So sick.
Isn't that crazy?
So crazy. So he was making $500 a month. So if I married him, he'd get $700 a month. So that's how he proposed to me. That was my proposal.
So romantic.
So like a week later, we went to the courthouse on a lunch break. And I knew I wasn't supposed to do this. I knew it. I couldn't even say my vows. I was like, in the whatever they are, justice of the peace.
Yeah.
He was like, repeat after me. And then he said it again. And I was like, I could not get it out. So yeah, I kind of knew on the day that I married him that I really wasn't supposed to. Yeah. I did not feel good about it. I did not feel. And then the night we got married, when he came home from work, he ended up beating the crap out of me.
What?
He was really not always nice. Yeah. He beat me. There was issues that I can't really get into because I don't want to put his information out there, but there were things that went on in our relationship. Infidelity of sorts. I'll tell you later. Mm-hmm. So I brought it up, and that was it. He just like beat the shit out of me, choked me, yanked me up, punching me. And anytime that particular issue came up, he would kick my ass because he didn't want me to shove it in his face.
Yeah.
It was so twisted. It was so twisted.
Why did you stay with him? You think you stay with him for the kids?
Oh, I totally stayed for the kids. Yeah. Totally. My kids were everything to me. Yeah. They were everything. And he knew that. And he held it.
I mean, ultimately he did what a lot of women are scared of. That's why a lot of women stay in relationships, because they're scared of having done to them what was done to you.
I had my kids, when we got divorced and I finally got my own place, I had my kids living with me. Mm-hmm. And they would go visit him and his new girlfriend on the weekends. About 2 or 3 months goes by. My kids had come home 3 different times with head lice. It cost me $300-400 per event to get rid of the lice. And I kept saying something to their father. Now, I made really good money as a waitress, so I didn't ask him for anything.
Yeah.
But when it came to this, I said, you need to help me. I mean, I'm out $1,500, getting rid of all the sheets, getting rid of all the clothing, getting all new stuff, getting rid of the lice. I mean, it was expensive to keep doing it. Well, I found out my children were sleeping on the floor every night. Now, this girl had a big home. She had extra beds. She had sofas. She wouldn't let my children sleep on a sofa, on a bed, nothing. But my ex-husband would go to bed every night and sleep in a bed with this woman and leave his children on the floor like dogs.
Did they have children?
She had a child who had a king-size bed. So when I found that out, I flipped. And I called him and I said, listen, until you get proper bedding, don't come and get the kids.
Yeah.
A month went by, he didn't see the kids. And then finally one weekend he said, okay, I have a bed for them. I'm going to come and get them. He never brought them back. And he went to the court and got a restraining order against me without my knowledge. They never contacted me. And he said, I threatened to murder my children. That's what he told them. And they believed him. I went through hell.
I was going to say, when you found that out.
I found out when I went to their house to try and get my children to come back home. And he came outside and said, you better leave this property right now. You're going to get arrested. And I said, for what? For trying to see my children that live with me? And he said, there's a restraining order. You're not allowed to be within 50 feet of them. My children are looking out the window, crying. And I just never would lose it in front of my children like that. So I maintained my composure and I walked away. And I went through that over and over. I went to the courts over and over. We had agreements. We came to agreements. He never honored anything. And in the midst of all that, I met this wonderful drug addict, you know? Yeah. And it was like, all I needed to know, you know what I mean? Because it got rid of every bit of emotional pain I was going through. Is that a good excuse? Definitely not.
No.
But I could not handle. My heart was ripped out. My children were truly everything to me. And I mean, you're a mom, so you understand. Like, if someone just came and took your kids and you know you didn't do anything to deserve it, and they're using everything to manipulate it.
Yeah.
I was so broken.
Yeah.
I was so broken from it, and nobody would help me. Nobody. They listened to him. They believed him. And I don't even know why. I never got to go to court and even address it. They never even let me. I always had this restraining order, and I never saw my kids again until one day on Easter. I went and infiltrated their holiday because I had been with him for all those years. I knew tradition. I knew what he did on Easter. So I went to his mother's house, and there they were, bopping down the sidewalk, their father and my two kids. I jumped out of the car. I ran to my kids. They ran to me. And, you know, this is still such a traumatic event for them. They remember that. They remember being ripped out of my arms for no reason. Nothing, because he hated me. My children won't even talk to me still. Like, I've tried so hard, and like, they've been here, they've come to visit, we've visited them, we've tried so hard to maintain a relationship. But they have so much emotional stuff that they don't know how to handle it. They don't know what to do. And I'm like, I just want to help them, and I don't know how to help them if they don't let me.
Yeah.
And I don't talk bad about their dad to them.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. I just let it, I take the blame because I don't want to mess them up more, you know, even though they're adults now. But it's like, I'm not going to resort to that. You know, I'm not going to resort to that. He knows what he did. He knows. Yeah.
How old were the boys when? So how did it work? I mean, did you lose custody? Like, were you?
No, because then I ended up in full-blown addiction after a year. And I stopped following up. After a year of going through hell and trying to get him to honor what the courts were saying, he would make agreements with me, and then he would never follow through. He would never allow me to see them. The last time I saw them was on Easter Day, and it was the first time I saw them in a year. They were 11 and 6. Wow. The last time they were with me, they were 5 and 10. They lived with me.
Wow.
And I still had all their stuff. I still had everything set up. And it was like so hard. But you know, I mean, I own all my stuff, Dana, and I don't pretend. Yeah, there were definitely times in my life that I did not deserve my children, for sure. And that was in the midst of drug addiction. And I didn't pursue it because I was in the midst of drug addiction. And believe me, I had a lot of people judging me for it and putting me down. And I said, why would I even try to do anything and drag them through this? I already know that. I mean, I really gave myself up to the thought of death. I mean, I wasn't afraid of it, and I really was searching for it in drug addiction. I really was.
Yeah. So,
I mean, to me, it made perfect sense to not bother at that point. And I didn't. Yeah. Only when I got, you know, extradited and then I was clean for 2 years did I try. And I did have limited contact with my eldest son. But he was 16 and he just wasn't ready. He wasn't ready until he was, you know, 19, 20 years old. You know?
Yeah.
It was hard.
It's
still hard.
I was going to say, you have contact with them though now, but.
Very, very, it's not because I don't try. I try all the time. I try every day, message, call, everything. And there's just no response. Once in a while, I'll get like a little, you know, sentence. And it sucks.
I know.
But I trust God with it, and that's all I can do.
You have to put it there and trust that their hearts will be healed one day.
It will drive me insane. And I just wish that they would allow me to help them with it. You know, I would be so willing to go through all of it. And I mean, yeah, go ahead, you know, dump it on me. It's okay. I don't even care. I don't. I just want my children in my life. And I feel like no matter how hard it is, we have each other. and we'll get through it, you know? That's what I want them to know more than anything. I want them to know that I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
You know?